morning, viewers, and welcome to our Thursday edition of the Economy and Politics Show. Today, very special, November 5th, 2020. We take a look every Thursday at the developments in the subnational level at states. And so we'll be looking at states and the quest for sustainability. Let's give you a rundown of the discussions that we'll be looking at today. First, we will take a look at Lagos rebuilds after the recent carnage and destruction of properties in Nigeria's economic capital. Ogun State, Nigeria's industrial hub, signed recently a memorandum of understanding with power infrastructure. We'll take a look at that. And Edo commences 55 megawatts power supply from its Osisioma power plant. We'll also bring you updates from the third quarter 2020 value-added task report. And finally, we'll take a look at FBN Quest Insight on Fiscal Ill-Health of States, a report that came out last month. Let's begin with Nigeria's economic capital, Lagos State, that came through the challenging phase of the post-EndSARS protest that was hijacked by hoodlums and created a lot of tensions and carnage. The days of reflection over the carnage sparked by the hijack of that protest seem to have ended in Lagos, with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu leading the battle to rebuild the raised infrastructure, which some estimate at over ₦1 trillion. The governor yesterday signed an executive order for the formation of an 8-man board to coordinate the efforts of restoring the lost assets in Lagos State. Citibank Nigeria Chairman, Mr. Yemi Cardoso, will head the board of the Lagos State Rebuild Trust Fund. The board members were unveiled yesterday at a press conference at the governor's office, Alausa Ikeja. Speaking at the event, the governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, said the government decided to put the criminal destruction behind it and face the huge and necessary task of rebuilding the state. The government said it would embrace new standards of governance and building stronger partnerships which will enable the state to bequeath stronger institutions and cohesion among residents. He spoke of how many friends and admirers of the state have been calling to lend their hand in rebuilding the raised assets. He said in the last few weeks, we've been inundated with local and global offers of assistance to rebuild our state and recover all we lost to arson and violence in October. It is obvious that we can no longer wait to begin the onerous task of reconstructing Lagos in the next few days. Our government will be sending a bill to the House of Assembly for the establishment of a trust fund to rebuild Lagos. Speaking further, I said, yesterday I'm signing an executive order to set up an 8-man Lagos Rebuild Trust Fund and accountability. The governor said the FBN trustees, headed by Mr. Kunle Awojobi, will oversee the Lagos Rebuild Trust Fund Committee. The committee will comprise 5 members from the private sector, 2 members from the public sector, and 1 member from the international donor aid community. Giving further insight, the governor said we will embrace new standards of governance and build stronger partnerships, stronger people, stronger institutions, and a stronger Lagos. Our strength lies in our uncanny ability to overcome the most complicated challenges because we have people who genuinely love Lagos and will assiduously do all they can to preserve its peace and unity. The governor said the trust fund will be responsible for getting detailed costs of restructuring and rebuilding of destroyed assets in the state. The funds, he added, will also advise the state government on the most critical assets to prioritize and identify emergency response service critically needed in the state. The rebuilding plan, the governor said, will be an all-inclusive one, stressing that the government will welcome support and contributions from well-meaning individuals and corporate organizations who believe in Lagos' dream. In his words, I believe this is the starting point of a new socioeconomic process. I'm hopeful that this initiative will help us to seamlessly make the transition to a rebuilt Lagos with upgraded public structures, facilities, and amenities. I know that the ashes that presently dot our landscape will birth modern and globally acceptable infrastructure. He said at the center of this decisive action to rebuild Lagos is the need to closely work with the people and organizations who call Lagos home, those who believe in the Lagos dream, and those who share the collective vision of a mega city that thrives on peace, unity, who are ready to commit their resources to the glory of the state, because the future is the future of Lagos. Members of the Trust Fund Boards are Managing Partner Olaniwu Ajayi, LP, Professor Koinsola Ajayi, Senior Executive of Nigeria, Chief Executive Officer of Sterling Bank, Mrs. Bola Adeshola, all representing the private sector. The representative of the International Donor Agency is part of the committee, like the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Jimmy Hotonu, and other members of the board representing the public sector. They are Business Continuity Committee, Operation Committee, Communication takeaways from this first experience in the operations. The second is the messages that create rancor, particularly ethnic tensions, because of Lagos being a very inclusive state again toward Lagos. Ogun State is priding itself in an infrastructure. The state is priding itself as the first to establish an energy board, and through the MOU, but on an investment plan of a 250 attract investments and create more jobs displayed, and the representatives of Conexa Energy. Endowments, like first said, the center of key thought is that it has massive land, which is a huge asset for it to be leveraged into different areas of activities, to humanities, to every field. So those are 5 words, CC, ETC, setting up of the sandwich on sports. Private investors. The commencement of this power supply from the plants, the 55 megawatt ETC Ostiemo at a major feat. The power purchase agreement, PPA, went to Sage with the development, generated the least and closely followed by textile and garment industry and pharmaceutical. Soaps and toiletries with 64 sectors that are being underlisted. 214.66 billion naira was generated as non-import VAT locally, while 115.34 billion naira was generated as non-import VAT for Fiscal Ill-Health of States. This is very important for every state in the country to take note of, because we continue to grapple with socio-economic for the good. Fact to the 3 government tiers, eligible agencies was 640 billion naira. That's about $1.66 billion in October from September revenue. This was a decline of 40 billion naira on the previous month. From the limited coverage in the local media, that the take from import duty and VAT was marginally down, and that collections from excise duty and petroleum profit tax were higher. State governments received a total of 222 billion naira, including derivation. The receipts in the Federation account consisted of 342 billion naira for the gross statutory distribution, the lowest since May 2017. 142 billion naira out of the VAT pool, non-oil excess revenue, and the federal government intervention. The sharp fall in statutory revenue was an obvious concern, not least for the read across to the states of the underlying economy. While there could be anomalies due to the impact of the COVID-19 virus on tax gathering, FBN Quest believes that it's a recall that September is generally a strong month for the collection of companies' income tax, and that this generated 203 billion naira in the month in 2019. The trend in the gross annual payouts has been positive drop to 8 nationals. Just to give you some perspective on what budgets have been coming in as we prepare for year 2021 fiscal year, and that's very important. That'll be all for today's edition of the Economy and Politics Show. You can visit our website www.WebTVNG.com to watch our videos with our news reports and analysis. Send your comments and views around states and development to news@ProShareNG.com. We'll be ready to receive them and respond appropriately. So we come your way again. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and stay safe.